What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and today's Minecraft 1.16 video is going to be how to install the WURST hacked client. This is basically a modded client where you have things like spider mode where you can climb up walls, fly mode, it's got a built-in X-ray mode in most cases, and there's a few different useful little plugins like Fulbright and more in this mod. Now to start off with, I'd recommend to not use this in multiplayer because you might ruin people's games. I personally don't use this, although I really want to show you guys how you can download and install it. So it's your choice how you want to use it, but now we've got that out of the way, I'm going to show you how to download and install the WURST client for Minecraft 1.16, more specifically 1.16.1, the newest update. So we're on the website here, this will be in the description below, and basically we have all of the updates on the homepage. So you can scroll back and you can find 1.15.2, you can find all the old snapshots. So I'm going to go ahead and just download the Minecraft 1.16.1. If you want to use the 1.16 patch, which was the first release, you can also download that. But we're going to go click on WURST for Minecraft 1.16.1, and I'm going to click on this little view all button, and then we're going to click on the latest one, which is to the left. And you'll see all the features over here. We have tons of features, no fall, health tags, a lot of auto and anti tools, and ESP for all the players and mobs. So there's some really cool stuff in here that we can mess around with. I'm going to use them in single player just to show them off to you. It's your choice if you want to use them in multiplayer. You'll probably end up getting banned, so I would be careful. But it's fun to just mess around with. So basically you're going to need to install Fabric for this tutorial. I explained yesterday in yesterday's video how you can install Fabric to install mods. So if you want to find out first of all how to install Fabric, then that video will be in the description below, and there should be a little link on the video at some point right now whilst you're watching it that should pop up with the video to click on. I'd recommend watching that first to show you how to install Fabric first of all, and the Fabric API which you'll need for this. This is basically the tutorial in text form, but I'm not going to go over it again in the video, so I would recommend watching that first before you actually install this. So once you've done all the Fabric stuff, which we did yesterday, what we're going to do is we're going to click download WURST. Okay, and it's a really simple install. This used to be like a whole client and a whole profile for your Minecraft launcher. No longer is that a problem anymore. So we're going to scroll down and there'll be a few different clients here and it'll say the versions. We're obviously requiring the newest one, the 1.16.1 build. So I'm going to click on that and then it should direct us somewhere and it should download it. I'm just going to press keep in the bottom left, and as simple as that, we've now downloaded the WURST client. So I'm going to click the arrow and click show in folder to open up my downloads folder, and we have all of these mods from yesterday. So if you would have downloaded the Fabric API, you're just going to throw that in the mods folder after you install Fabric, but I've showed you that yesterday. So I'm going to delete these other files I have from yesterday's tutorial, and I'm going to right click and press cut on the WURST client, and then we're going to go to the Minecraft folder, .minecraft, and we're going to go into the mods folder, and I'm going to right click and press paste, and it's as simple as that. Now we've installed the WURST client. You'll see these other files I have in here are some of my other mods, so I'm going to make a folder and call it 1.15 with some random characters just to throw some of my 1.15 mods in there. They will probably mess up like the whole process and everything, so I'm just going to throw them in this folder, and now we just have WURST client and some of the random Fabric mods. So I'm going to open up my Minecraft launcher now, and we should be able to get this rolling. We've basically downloaded it, so once we get into the in-game situation where I've installed it and I've showed you everything in terms of setting it up, I am actually going to show you all the features in it as well. So once you've installed Fabric from the other video, or if you've installed it yourself, if you already know how to do that, you will have to launch it through the Fabric loader 1.16.1 and just press play, and then we'll have the mod for the WURST client load up with Fabric, because it's not a launcher profile anymore, it's one mod which we've just installed, and Fabric will actually boot it up. So let it load up. If you've not downloaded 1.16.1 yet and this is the first time launching, it will take a while to launch, but once we get on, everything should work. If you do get a few conflicts or errors that pop up, have a look at the error message. Most of the time the reason why you'll get an error is because you haven't deleted the old Fabric files from the last version of Fabric. For an example, Minecraft 1.15, or just some old Fabric or Forge mods left in your folder that are causing it to crash. So make sure you have a clean folder with only the mods that you actually want to run on 1.16, and you shouldn't run into any issues. If you're having trouble installing Fabric yourself, remember to watch the video in the description where I show you how to do the process. Now, as you can see, it's actually loading up now. If you do run into some issues, you want to just double check in your folder that you have the right files. So you have the 1.16.1 WURST that we just downloaded, but also make sure you have the newest Fabric API. Like I said, the Fabric API is required for this, not just the Fabric Loader, because the Fabric API mod is what this depends on. That will mostly fix all the errors you have. Okay, so now we're in Minecraft, so I'm just going to jump into a 1.16 world and show off this mod. So let's just jump into this random 1.16 world, and we'll test some of the commands, some of the features, and I'll show the whole process and the whole mod that we just installed. So now we're actually in the game, and you'll see in the top left there's now an overlay that says WURST on it, and there's a few different things which actually pop up. You'll see full bright mode is already enabled. The text for that is basically the mods which are enabled, which show on the left side. So if we press R for an example, it now enables the kill aura mod, which automatically just attacks enemies all around you. Even if they're like at a pretty far range, it'll automatically attack anything which comes close with you. And then if we press X, it'll toggle the X-ray mode. So a lot of people who've been wondering how to actually get the X-ray mod in Minecraft 1.16.1, this I believe is currently the only way to do it, downloading an actual modded client, because the standalone X-ray mod isn't actually updated yet. But for those of you who are wondering how to get the mod instead of just the resource pack, then this is actually the way to do it. So as you can see, now we can see through all the blocks, and there's no darkness problems, there's no issues with the lighting, and we also have the full bright mod enabled at the same time, which allows us to see everything through the ground perfectly. So this is the only way to get the classic X-ray mod, or the real X-ray mod version right now, but that's how to do that if you press X. When we press V, it does the zoom effect, so a lot of people like the zoom mod so they can take screenshots or show items a lot closer, especially people who make videos, so you can do that with V. Then if you press N, the N key will start the nuker mod. So as you can see, I've just showed a little bit of a demonstration. The nuker just destroys all the blocks around you, and for some reason when you're not in fly mode, it will actually destroy all the blocks underneath you. So it's destroyed part of this little hub building that we have, and it's just decimated the whole world many blocks down. So if we hold it again and we fly towards a certain direction, it will do the same. It's pretty laggy, by the way, if you can't tell, but it'll do the same. If we're moving, it lags a lot more, and it'll destroy all the blocks in the direction that you're going. So if I go forwards, it'll destroy all the blocks forwards and then cause a bit of a lag spike with all the sand dropping. So that's the nuker. Basically, you can just mess around with different keys. The B key enables fast break and fast place, both of them. The C key enables and disables full bright mode, which you can't really tell is in effect right now. J turns on the Jesus mod, so when you have the Jesus mod, this allows you to walk on water, which is actually pretty funny and also kind of cool. Most of these mods, like I said, are blocked in multiplayer, so that's why I wouldn't recommend using it, because you'll probably get banned. But just messing around with them in single player is pretty hilarious. The fact that we can now walk on water is actually really cool. You could just use just the Jesus mod just to travel across water easily if you play in survival mode. K turns on the multi-aura, and what that does is it hits enemies, but it does multiple enemies at once. Sometimes it doesn't work the best, but as you can see, it hit the creeper and the zombie at the same time. G is the fly key, so even though we're in creative mode, you can see we've toggled the fly mode now on the left, and this is a really nice fly mode. You can use that just by pressing G, which is pretty cool. Like I said, this is one of the most popular mods which is blocked by servers, because a lot of servers only allow people to fly if they're a certain rank, or if they're actually in creative mode. So I recommend not using fly mode, because that's one of the more popular mods that will get you instantly kicked. The Y turns on the sneak mode, and as you can see, we're now permanently in this new sneak mode, which is pretty cool. I think people use this just so A, they don't have to hold shift, and B, I think the sneak mode toggles your nameplate, so I think that players can't actually see your name whilst you're in sneak mode, or at least it's a lot harder to do so. I'm not sure if that's still a thing in Minecraft, but originally people used this mod just so people didn't see where they were. The U mode is actually really cool. This is actually really nice for making videos or taking screenshots for thumbnails, for an example, on YouTube, or just cool screenshots of the world. If you press U, it will go into the free cam mode, so now we're kind of in an outer body experience where we can see outside of our player, and we can even see our player with his name tag as if we're another player ourselves. In the free cam mode, I still have my player skin and my armor. I basically look like another player, but I can see my player from the outside. So then I could press F1 and I could just have a look at my player. I can go up and down through the ground. I can see through all the cave systems, see where everything is around me. And I could take a screenshot of my character close up, which is really cool. So if I wanted to position myself, which is actually pretty hard, because the controls aren't so good in free cam mode, I could theoretically take a screenshot of my player like that. So that's most of the keybinds for the common mods. Okay, that's how to enable most mods in this. But you don't just use keybinds, there is actually a menu to do this as well. You can press escape and then there's the worst options, and when you click on this you can turn on a few different things. You can change the keybinds for all the commands and you can look at all of them here. So if we press H for an example, it says there's a command which is incomplete or unknown in the chat. The reason for this is you use this on a server only. So servers that have a plugin where you can set home and teleport to your home, if you press the H key it will just say /home and it'll teleport you straight to your designated home on the server. So that's a really nice bind as well. So you can see all of your binds in this keybind section. You can add new binds. So you could press change key and then we could press P for an example, and then you could type in the command that gets toggled when we actually say that. So we could just type in kill for an example, and if you press P it will do .kill. So you need to make sure that you specify the command correctly. And of course you can also go back and edit any of the commands that you set. Boom. So now that does /kill or .say/kill. So that's how to do commands. And also you can click on the X-ray blocks section and this will allow you to draw which blocks are actually enabled or disabled when you're in the X-ray mode, which is really nice. So you can add and remove blocks from this selection as well, and these are the blocks which will either be shown or not shown when we actually toggle the X-ray mode. As you can see, we can still see ladders and brewing stands and a few different other blocks like torches and chests when we go in the X-ray mode, not just the ores. So you can check which blocks you want to show and which you don't want to show. But that's not all. If you want to actually showcase all of the different mods which I haven't shown you how to use, you can press the control key on your keyboard, but not the left control key, it has to be the right control key. And it will come up with all of these subheadings, and you just click the arrow next to the subheadings, and then you can see all of the different mods here. And you can just press one of them, and it will toggle the mod. As you can see, I turned on the anti-AFK mode, so it creates an automatic path for me to walk over some blocks every few minutes, so it doesn't kick me from a server, for an example. So that's a really useful one. You can also turn on auto fish mode, so if you have a fishing rod, you can automatically fish in the oceans and lakes. We can toggle the chest cam from here. We can turn on the chest ESP so we can see where chests are. The cave finder, which is pretty cool, and the mob ESP, so now you can see these weird orange boxes around all of the mobs. So you can just go through all these things. There's a lot of cool PvP combat settings here as well, like you can turn on more hits to criticals, things like that. But like I said, I recommend not to bring this on a server, not just because it's unfair, but the fact that most servers have pretty good ways of detecting all of these mods, because you're not obviously supposed to do these things. But there's some really cool things to mess around with, especially the fun section. We can go into dirt mode for an example. So if we back out this and go into third person mode, it only is visible to other players, of course. And then we can turn on this really awesome mode where it shows all these like colourful effects, and the world just looks crazy, like you've just taken something that you shouldn't have done. That's really cool. And then skin derp, where it toggles different parts of your skin, which I think if we go into the first mode, you can see that it just glitches completely. And then you can change everything to change colours. So there's a lot of stuff in here that you can mess around with, and you can also type in a lot of different commands, which I'm not going to show you particularly in this video. But this is how to install the WURST client for 1.16.1. Use it how you decide you want to use it, and use it what you want to use it for, and just mess around with it. Is pretty fun. And this is mainly the reason why I'm making this video, is just for the people who wanted to know how to get the X-ray mod right now, because I think this is the only way. So if this was helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe. And tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to install the other client, the modded client, which is Aristois. So there's the WURST client and then there's the Aristois one. So I'm going to show you how to install that tomorrow, Aristois or Aristois, whatever you want to call it. And you can compare both videos and figure out which one you want to use. So thanks for watching, make sure to like the video, drop a comment below what you want me to do for Minecraft 1.16 videos, if you have any ideas or things you want to know, and I'll try and do them. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.